The week that was on InfoLive TV. Shalom, I'm Margot Dudkevich. As Syrian war drums beat, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert says Israel seeks peace and not war. Meanwhile this week, the 40th anniversary of the 6 Days War and the unification of the capital of Israel, Jerusalem. Also this week, as Israelis celebrated the victory over the Arab states 40 years ago, the army prepares for a possible escalation in the northern and southern fronts. As Israel celebrates the 40th anniversary of the 6 Days War and Jerusalem's unification, one cannot ignore the reports that have been throughout the week when we hear the wireless sounds of the troops as they broke into the old city in June 1967 and won back the Western Wall and the Temple Mount. The US Congress this week voted unanimously to have the embassy transferred from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. 40 years later, Israel's neighbors still seek its destruction, and according to reports, Syria, Hezbollah and Iran are preparing for war this summer. Transport Minister Shaul Mofaz, visiting Washington for strategic talks, tells US administration officials that Hezbollah has rearmed and restocked since last year's war and has long-range missiles capable of striking central and southern Israel. A security cabinet convened on Wednesday to discuss the Syrian front, and Prime Minister Olmert once again reiterated that Israel seeks peace, not war. The western Negev town of Sderot this week saw a brief respite in Qassam rocket attacks. Although rockets were fired at Israel, they fell in nearby kibbutzim and outside Sderot, causing damage but no casualties. Since May 15th, the number of rockets has passed the 300 mark. Meanwhile, the Palestinians at the last minute cancelled a meeting between Prime Minister Olmert and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas due to Israel's refusal to transfer tax money to the Palestinians and expand the ceasefire to the West Bank. The countdown for the second round of Labour Party primaries that will decide who is to lead the party gets underway, as supporters in Ami Ayalon and Ehud Barak's camp step up efforts to garner support. Defence Minister Peretz announced his support for Ayalon, and Knesset member Ofer Pines-Paz said Wednesday he supports Barak. A survey that appeared on Thursday in Haaretz says that Ehud Barak will win over Ami Ayalon. At InfoLive TV studios this week, former ambassador to France Nissim Zvili and lawyer Louis Eliezer Dalman, veteran members of the Labour Party, explained their reasons for supporting the candidates. This week also saw bitter fighting between the Lebanese army and Palestinian gunmen affiliated with Al-Qaeda, spreading from Nahal al-Barid camp in the north of Lebanon to the Palestinian En El-Hiwe refugee camp in the south. There are growing fears that the fighting will bring the country to the brink of civil war. Lebanese government officials have demanded that the gunmen lay down their arms and surrender, a demand they so far refused. InfoLive TV brought you excerpts of a Hamas kindergarten ceremony in Gaza that inspires young children to hate and support jihad. Young boys dressed in military uniform, carrying toy guns, display a series of training expertise and call for jihad. The diary of Ruth Karlaskia, a young Jewish girl who perished in the Auschwitz death camp in 1943, has been published in Hebrew and English. The diary, which Laskia hid under floorboards of her home, was held in safekeeping by her childhood friend Stanislava Sapinska. Israel on Wednesday ensured that it will still have a chance of reaching the Euro 2008 when it faces England at Wembley Stadium in September. This week, Israel's national football team defeated Macedonia and Andorra, scoring 2-0 in both matches. And InfoLive TV's Spanish reporter Patricio Abramson received a coveted prize from the Argentinian government. And that's all for Info Live TV this week. Shalom from Jerusalem. This is Margot Dudkiewicz.